The biggest thing that I certainly see is that they don't inspect what they expect.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, it's the thing that is missing. Even at the top of the tree, we get $1 million studio turn up at our front door and they go, surely you guys can't help me. I know all the answers. And we go, I bet you're missing one thing. I'm going to yell out 3, 2, 1, and we're all going to say what you guys think that one thing that is missing is. 3, 2, 1, Playbooks. If these guys actually get this right and install proper playbooks in their business, they're going to buy back their time. They're going to be able to sit in the pocket of a CEO, a proper CEO. They're going to hit best month evers all the time.
But I don't have time to do all of this, Doze.
Perfect.
Or how? Where to start?
So, should every business have SOPs? Should they?
I think
I see a lot of the times, it's very common, is that a lot of people have got them about 60% of the way. What is the thing holding them back from taking it from 60% to 100%?
there's actually two things. So the first thing is...
All right, we are back. And there's one thing that I really want to fucking talk about today. It's the thing that is missing even at the top of the tree when they come and meet us. We get $1 million studio turn up at our front door and they go, surely you guys can't help me. I know all the answers. And we go, I bet you're missing one thing. Ready? Okay, I'm going to yell out 3, 2, 1, and we're all going to say what you guys think that one thing that is missing is. Yeah?
All right.
No.
3, 2, 1, Playbooks.
No, I don't.
So
Can I actually add, they don't say, surely there's nothing you can teach me. They go, I have a really successful business on paper, but I fucking hate it. What's wrong with me? That's what
okay,
they ask.
That's true. What do we call that? We call that the golden
Cage.
and the golden cage because
Because the only way out of it is to.
no, it's a golden cage because
You're rich as fuck, but you're stuck in it.
yeah,
golden cage,
you're a
yeah.
rich slave.
Yeah.
Like, and the only way fucking out of it is like the key that you need to kind of like reach through the bars and open the door and fucking let yourself out is the motherfucking playbooks.
Yeah.
Playbooks, man. Like without playbooks in business, you are basically, your business is just like strung together by a bit of, have you got a second, have you got a second, have you got a second from your team? And we hear it all the time, right? My team can't do anything by themselves.
No,
and you
of
go,
course not.
no, of course not. Well, show me the playbook.
Yeah.
And they go, the what? And we go, like the playbook. The playbook where you train them on doing the thing and they go, I don't have one of those. And
What's
they go,
that?
yeah, okay, cool. Let's start there. So I reckon we go through, like we did a session internally with our members. Shout out to our members. We love them.
They went crazy for this one.
Oh, they went crazy for
They
it?
went crazy for it. It was highly requested. And then when we dropped it, like they talk about it a lot.
Okay. So what I want to go through for the audience here watching on YouTube or on or listening is I want to just clear the air first on what the fuck is the difference between a system, a process, and a playbook.
Yeah.
Like just what that is.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some debate here at the table around should every business have SOPs? Should they? Because I actually don't think they should. What?
Ooh.
I know you're going to fire off. The mistakes.
Don't say that to Ben.
The mistakes that we see, the benefits, and then we'll get into the North Star principles and the anatomy. I'm going to break down section by section the anatomy of a working playbook. Is that cool? And then everyone can kind of leave off the back of this episode and actually start building their own playbooks for their business. Because like ultimately, the goal here is for every single person that has a business, whether it's a dance studio, we're working with a lot of dance, shout out to the dance studios, Pilates studios, yoga studios, functional, fucking hybrid, strength, PT, all these sort of people. I would love that you can point to a document that you give your team, or it's on your shared drive, or it's in Notion, or it's in your Asana, and it is a working checklist playbook that your team is using all the time. And it's all part of something called the, insert your business name, way. That's the way you do things. So it's why McDonald's can fucking, it's why you can bring a 14-year-old into McDonald's and they know how to make a fucking cheeseburger, right? It's you have to sit over them and like watch them do it. Like there's a way to do things. It's also why the fucking planes don't fall out of the sky. Should we do that?
Yes, definitely.
Let's do it. And if you're a systems geek, if you're a playbook geek and you want some homework, read the E-Myth. It's a good one.
By Mr. Gerber. All right. System, process, playbook. Some people think they're interchangeable, but they're actually not. So I'm going to kind of list out the difference here that I see here.
And if I may, handbook is also another one.
Oh, fuck. Can we not? Yeah. That's probably a different episode. All right. So system. So that's the hierarchy, right? So I guess system, process, playbook. The system, when we talk about system in businesses, system is like the whole part of a section of your company. So it's a whole multi-department, multi-step process that happens in your department. So for instance, for us right now, we've got a sale a day system.
Mm-hmm.
That is our acquisition system that we teach the academy. So acquisition system means that it touches like a bit of marketing, a bit of sales, a bit of onboarding.
Yeah, onboarding system. So that goes from sales to support to get them the emails and that kind of stuff to your delivery team. So
Think of it as like it's a compound move if you're doing a, do you like that?
I did. Where my head went was I know nothing
Where
about.
did your head go?
Yeah. Okay. I know nothing about cars, but I was thinking like there's different, there's the engine.
This is going to be epic. Watch
and then
this.
there's the brakes,
Yeah,
I assume.
Yeah, cars have brakes. Yeah.
Mine are a bit fucked. Anyway,
Excuse me.
there's different parts to the car. They all need each other to operate, but, you don't just put it all together in one big lump. They've all got different parts and rules.
Multi-part
Things working together.
things
so that
working
the whole
together
vehicle works.
across different areas
Did
of your
pretty
business.
well.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You've got your retention systems, which might include your reach outs. It might include your attendance reporting. Like there's a way to do things that have multiple steps
Yeah.
to make up a system of how you do things. Really in a business, like if we have to really boil things down in these types of businesses, there's probably like an acquisition system, there's a retention system, and there's an operating system to run the business. That's kind of it, really. And within the operating system, like that's where your finance is, your planning,
HR,
your HR, all kind of stuff. Yeah. What am I missing? There's probably a cleaning system, like that sits within your operations system.
Yeah, that's delivery. That's
that might have to be a process, which is the second level. So the second level is the process, which is the step-by-step workflow within that system. So a process might be how you run your attendance report, right? There is a process on how you do that. That's part of a retention system. Now, within that, there is the playbook. Now, the playbook is more a how-to at the executional level. That is the scripts, the templates. Press this, then go into here, and then do it this way. And how you know if you've done it right is A, B, and C. And that playbook is really like how your teams know how to run the plays in your business.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a sports team coach. You've seen those NFL players that have to like memorize all those plays. The quarterbacks that have got those things on their hand and like, motherfucking, it's a twins right,
doggy G,
chopper chump 4,
No
over,
idea. No idea.
3, 2, 1, break, blue 42. So they're the playbooks. Now, where are the mistakes that like? What mistakes do studios make typically?
Well, they don't have a playbook in the first place, or it's a new process that they're trying to install, or the first time they've ever tried to hit this KPI and they're like, I don't know, you do it and write me a playbook. It's like you haven't even fucking proven it. So you're actually just outsourcing the results and who knows what could happen, and your confidence. Even if they did nail that, which they probably won't. I saw a reel the other day and then I made a reel about it. It was a long thread about all of these people who stepped into manager roles in group fitness training studios that ended up, a common story I hear, becoming completely burnt out, hated the role. And the caption was like, you loved a job in a studio that didn't love you back. Which is sad, right? Like you could see there's a lot of passion in all of these people who are commenting about it. But ultimately, they felt like the work they were doing was never ending, didn't know if they were doing good or not, had no processes, had no vision, had no planning, and had no real start or stop to their role. That was all, underappreciated. So I think not having a process, not having a clear owner for the process or playbook. I think a big one, as you were speaking, that came up for me was also people who say, if I leave my studio, even if it's not just for a holiday, but like if I take a step back, then retention will just absolutely drop off a cliff and no one will want to be there.
Yeah, it's great when I'm there.
It's always amazing when everyone loves me and they're paying for me.
Jail.
Jail.
Golden cage, right?
Golden cage.
So you always say to that, people aren't paying for your presence, they're paying for your standards.
Correctamundo.
So if you have a lack of standards to point to, that's one of the biggest mistakes I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you kind of touched on it then as well. It's the old, all right, cool, we need a playbook for this, and the owner doesn't know how to do it, and they get Jimmy the manager to playbook something that there's no, like they're not playbooking a result. Like they don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
They need to own it themselves, playbook it, and then they pass it off to their team member.
Yeah, agreed.
Why do they avoid building one?
Why? Oh, there's so many reasons to that. But
Let me ask you a different question then. From what I see a lot of the times, it's very common, is that a lot of people have got them about 60% of the way done.
Mm.
What's stopping them, in your experience? So you've worked with thousands of these guys. Like,
Yeah.
what is the thing holding them back from taking it from 60% to 100%?
There's actually two things. So the first thing is they'll start with the most complicated one and over fucking cook it, and
Or
they
they
won't
start with all of them, right?
Yeah,
all of them
yeah.
at the same time.
Or they'll go, all right, I need to document not just what I'm doing now with whatever result that's getting, and I'll optimize it later. They go, but I need to change this and I need to update that and I need to, and it just like draws it, overthinks
This
it,
is the
overcooks it.
perfectionism,
Yeah, it's so
which
perfectionism.
is bullshit.
And then the second part is either they don't have, or they think they don't have someone to hand that off to, or they have control issues.
Oh, do you reckon any of our
They
clients have
have
got control issues?
Fucking
Hundo,
major issues
hundo.
with
Love you.
letting-
Hey, we love you guys,
letting
but we
shit
know
go.
that when
Fucking
you're in
let go.
front of us,
Shout out to Paul. I had to put him in a fucking headlock and say, you need to create your cleaning checklist. We'll
We
just
love
do
you,
it
Paulie.
one by one. And he is actually, do you know what? This is a great example. I was looking at his
Paulie
numbers.
from Fitstop, we love you, mate.
Last 2 or 3 submissions, it's been the royal flush.
What?
He's hit every KPI, and it's not just him doing it. Now,
Paulie?
yes, he's done a boat chat. He's
Stop
got
it.
playbooks and
Yes.
checklists.
Paulie!
He's hitting all these
and is he cleaning the
KPIs.
dunnies or not?
He's getting his record revenue like every single week, and his retention has dropped significantly. And do you know why? Because he's
Why?
not doing it all him fucking self.
Mm.
He was writing the exercise station cards like up until however many weeks ago, where we sat down and eyeballed each other, and I just was like, every week you're gonna fucking front up here and show me what you've done.
Good on you.
And no, well, it was Paul. Like, he had to let go, and he actually did a lot of work, because I was like, there's a self-limiting belief part, which is like, you know, what evidence do you actually have that you offloading this is burdening someone else and that they don't want to do it, and all of these kinds
Yeah.
of things. And basically he did the comparison. He went, and it's all bullshit. So I was like, cool, cleaning checklist. And then he just did that every week. So if you're overcooking it, if you have a fear of letting go and you feel like you're in a golden cage, use that example, because he didn't just like miraculously become someone who was super like cool and flowy with it. He had to just
Had to
fight
work,
through a
had to
bit of the
work through it.
discomfort,
Yeah.
create his own evidence that it doesn't need to be perfect. People actually are like, please give me this thing. Like, I want to do it. And it'll give you way better results.
For the listeners, who we're talking about now, he's a great studio owner.
Yeah.
But Playbooks have allowed this guy to find a whole nother gear in his business. And he's
Exactly.
making more money.
Oh, yeah, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke.
I know. We love Paulie.
I love that man. All right, so the mistakes that they make is that they don't have one.
Yeah.
They avoid completing them. They don't let go. They're a bit controlly. The other thing that I see a lot of the time is, yeah, of course we got them, Daz. Of course we got them.
Oh yeah, where are they? Oh, I open up the Google Drive.
Yeah.
It's in the inbox. It's in the Asana. I think it was in the old one was in the to-do list, and
Yeah.
it's in the Google Drive as well. It's everywhere.
And then you're like, is this it? It's like bringing out the
Last
fucking. It's
updated
like bringing out the Bible that's been like underneath the fucking a pyramid. The biggest thing that I certainly see is that they don't inspect what they expect.
Oh, yeah,
They're
the big
like,
one.
yeah, we've got a playbook. It's like, is anyone following it? Don't know. Are they doing it properly? Not sure. And then when we do the mystery shops, right? And when we go pop open your Instagram chats, let me have a look. And you're not following the fucking script. That's an element of like not inspecting what we expect. So if we get this right, if these guys actually get this right and install proper playbooks in their business, they're going to buy back their time. They're going to be able to sit in the pocket of a CEO, a proper CEO that's working on the daily standards that you've chucked out there and the weekly standards and actually growing their business. They're going to hit best month evers all the time. The team are going to be so much clearer on what they should be doing next. The error rate almost vanishes in their business. Like, things are done properly, right? And when we talk about the books that we've read, BE 2.0, which is like the sequel to Good to Great by Jim Collins, says the number one, the king metric that predetermines the profitability and the success of the business is not the size of their market. It's not what the CEO's done beforehand. It's the percentage of their people in the right seats doing the right things in the right way.
Yeah, and how do you know if you're doing the right thing?
Because you've got the motherfucking playbooks. Okay, cool. And then that way we can actually scale this business. So even back to the original story, when the top dogs walk into our room and they go, what can you help me with? And we go, show us your playbooks. They go, don't have one. We go, cool. You've still got a golden cage.
Yeah.
when we get the playbooks in the business, then they are scalable. And if we break down that word scalable,
Mm-hmm. A scalable business is a saleable business.
correct, Amundo. Okay.
Yeah, there's also a lot of those studios who come to us wanting to go from 1 or 2 to 5 or 1 or 2 to 100.
100. We were in a room the other day with the boys down at Redbury. Shout out to Redbury chaps. And they want to go from 1 to 100.
Yeah.
Reckon they're going to need a couple of playbooks?
Yeah, 1 or 2, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so they're looking for a proven way to eventually, at scale have successful businesses.
One thing I want you to look down the barrel and just get real with the troops. When owners turn up to your Zoom room
Yes.
and go, Sophie, my manager or my trainer isn't doing it properly. They can't, I just have to do everything because no one can do it like I can.
Yeah. I will look down the barrel, but I'll just also want to add to that. I think you may be part of the problem because we will self-sabotage to reaffirm our narrative. So for example, I can't do it. I have to do it all myself. I can't let anything go. So then you give a shit playbook or no playbook and it reaffirms that they can't do it as good as you. It's like, duh.
Yeah, you've hospital passed to your
sloppy
team.
pass.
So check yourself on that,
So we
listeners.
go, where in the week are you doing development sessions and coaching? Show me your calendar and show me where you're helping your team actually execute. Show me where you're actually looking at and inspecting the work that they're doing versus the playbook and then getting them to self-assess and then coaching them up. And show me where you're actually doing planning sessions and going, where are the bits of the business that are broken so you can help them to install new projects over the coming months to make this thing even more amazing and support them with that.
So the lesson there, friends, is process before the person.
Always.
Process before the person. I want to get into it. Do you reckon we can get into it?
Let's roll.
Okay. So the North Star principle. So if you're driving, fucking pull over. If you're not driving, you're listening, pull out a pen and a notepad because we're about to go through the North Star principles here. So the North Star principle here is we absolutely want a working process to be proven first before we playbook it. So many times people spend their life trying to playbook something that hasn't actually been proven yet.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, totally.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is we definitely want to make sure that you produce a complete playbook in the business. So it's not, we want to get away from the 60% dones, the 60% finishes, 60% finish because 60% finish because it's going to be so fucking hard for you to inspect something that's like half cooked. The third thing is there's got to be an owner for the playbook and it's not you.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking to the owners right now. You don't own all the playbooks, okay? The person that's in charge of that KPI owns that playbook. I'll get into the nuances of that in a second. And the fourth North Star principle is you absolutely must be auditing these playbooks. I'd say like within a 30-day window every time. They've got to be living, breathing things. Yeah. They're alive.
They're not designed to sit in the bottom drawer getting dusty.
Totally. Okay, so here we go. This is the anatomy of a winning playbook. If you watch this on YouTube, I'll have a little superimposed image of a little drawing that I've got. So up the top,
Save that file.
up the top, you've got the name of the thing, right? Whether it's the Sell by Chat playbook, whether it's the
Rollover playbook.
rollover playbook, whether it's the retention playbook, okay? Boom, right at the top. And then you've got the date created, what department it's in. Onboarding, front desk, coaching team, whatever, or the dancing team. Then you've got the owner, not you, owner all the time, right? And then you've got, so important, this part here, this tells me if this thing's alive or not, last modified. And what we're looking for is what?
Within 30 days.
Within the last month, right? Especially if things are off track and the person's not hitting their targets. And we go, show me the playbook. And so the last updated was like when you created it.
Yeah, like so if
someone's
you're,
not using it.
Yeah, if it's like a sales playbook and you're off run rate and you've been off run rate for 6 months and no one's looked at the playbook for 2 years.
Yeah,
it's a red
that's a
flag.
fucking problem, right?
Yeah.
And that also tells me that you guys aren't having your chats.
Yeah. Not innovating, looking for opportunity.
So we've got name. This is what I would call the header section. So we've got name, they created department, owner, last modified. And then you move into purpose. So this is especially, right? This episode is especially for people that are around the $1 million mark as well, right? And you think you've got a scalable, sellable business. This is the part where it's a bit more advanced, right? So in here, we've got the purpose. Like, why does this playbook exist? Which of the business metrics or the business objectives is this playbook meeting? Yeah. And then we go into the North Star principles. And the North Star principles, why that's probably my favorite part of this thing, because like what we're trying to do here with these playbooks and having North Star principles is, if all else fails, come back to the principles of why this thing exists, right? Because what's going to happen, like inevitably within the play, someone's going to need to make some judgment calls, because it's not written here in the playbook. Like I don't need to tell you how to tie your shoelaces up, but the playbook is North Star principles, just come to work dressed.
Yeah.
You know, like that's this sort of idea. Shout out to the sales team. So that's where the North Star principle goes. Like this is like where we can build the critical thinking in our team as well. How do you know, when you interact with our playbooks internally, or I'd love to know like how you use the North Star principles, how they help you, and also where you might see that really helping the studios and their team.
Yeah, well, the playbook is always going to require some flex or, you know, sometimes a little bit of discernment. Doesn't mean like just because something's a little bit off script that we go, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's not playbook, because you fucking hate hearing that, right?
Hey, dozer. And then, I just didn't do it because like it wasn't in the playbook. It's like, all right, let's go back to the North Star principles and see what the outcome was, that like the overarching outcome feeling experience is that we're trying to create here, and then make a fucking decision based on that.
Yeah. Because
the guiding light.
You fucking hate it. Like what goes through your head when someone goes, oh, I didn't do it because it wasn't playbook?
Well, yeah, like you can't playbook everything. You can't like allow for every single situation that's going to come up. And if you do, you're never going to finish writing the bloody thing.
That's probably why why our friends get stuck too, right? It's because they're like, oh, what if it's a leap year and, you know, it flooded that day? What happens then? It's like, fuck it.
I think for a studio, it would be, if in the onboarding playbook, one of the North Star principles is take that person's hand, walk them across the bridge of fear and uncertainty, and make sure they have an amazing start with us.
And leave fucking feeling 10 foot tall.
Yeah,
and
if that
bulletproof.
person has a little bit of extra fear or something that isn't usually scripted for, does that mean I just ignore it? Or do I follow the North Star principle and go, do you know what, I'm going to put in a little extra here with that person so that I can achieve the outcome? And even though it's not a part of the step, maybe I'm doing an extra welcome call. Maybe I'm fucking training with them this time for their first session.
Yeah, I had a really great interaction with one of our dance studio owners, shout out Jessie, before I came in here actually, and she was talking about her onboarding experience. She talks about like it's like a Tiffany 5-star experience, and I just love that, because it's like I don't even need to know what the playbook is there. Like,
yeah, you get the gist of it.
I'll fucking send it.
Yeah.
Like that is so good. Like when I speak to Joshy from the Sharks, he talks about we don't just tackle, we tackle with attitude, right? Like, and I was like, oh, well, that already tells me what I need to be doing.
Yeah, that's not saying we tackle between the sternum and the hips. Because, hold on, what if you tackle someone a bit lower?
Exactly. So North Star principle, super, super important. The next section, if you're following at home, are the Loom video walkthroughs. Okay, this is so...
But I don't have time to do all of this, Doze.
Perfect. So the very next time you do the thing, just film yourself. That's what these Loom, and I say Loom as in like Zoom with an L. That's
I think most people know what Loom is.
All right,
now.
relax. Well, I've been talking about Loom for 10 years.
I know. 10 years ago they didn't.
That hurts. So you do these video walkthroughs of, and I want at least 3. Why do we want at least 3?
Well, there's probably going to be a really good one, a really shit one, and one that maybe you can get a lesson out of. You know?
Yeah. Why do you think we need 3?
There might be a little bit of a different event or thing that happens along the way, different way of thinking.
Particularly our owners who seem to think that there's an X factor to how they do things. And look, most times there probably is. Most times there probably is. Owners, you probably don't even know the nuance of how you do things in a certain way depending on what's in front of you. That's why I want 3 videos, because there's probably 3 different nuances that you didn't even know that you did because you're so fucking good at it. So we put them in there. They're the walkthroughs.
The really cool thing about that as well is it actually summarizes the steps for you, and there's a transcript to it.
I know. I don't want to live and let them off. I don't even want to let them off the hook with that, right? Yeah. That's getting too fancy for these guys. And I mean that because like I want this to be analog. I want them to actually decide.
Own the steps, right? Own the steps.
Which is the next thing. Good segue. There's the next thing is the step-by-step, like the step-by-step success checklist, right? I want to know, you do this, then you do this, then you do this. So you got the videos and then you step it out, okay? I know there's AI stuff that can do that now, and yes, that is the fast answer, but I don't want it to skip the audience actually confronting, making sure that they've got this playbook and they've designed the business the way they want to. That's I want them to insert their own self.
Yeah, the
into
issue
this.
with that is like you copy and paste something that you probably didn't even read versus like using it as a base if you were going to do that.
There's just the confidence comes as an owner when it's like, no, I know because I fucking wrote that playbook and I tested it. Like that was playbooked off me being able to do that myself. So I know if you skip that step, I know that I wrote it in there. You weren't just relying on a transcript. So that's the step-by-step checklist how to do it. And then there's the feedback loops. Now, why do we love the feedback loop? Well, explain the feedback loop and why do we love the feedback loop?
So the feedback loop is like things change over time, right?
Yeah.
So the feedback loop is what tells you when you've passed off a playbook. It tells you if it's working or not, or current or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So the feedback loop might be, oh, hold on, like you've a step missing in the checklist. Oh, hold on, I need to go back, do another loom, and then add that step in the checklist because I forgot to ask them if they could train at night. You know, like there's like the feedback loop is that instant loop of like, great, the missing step or something that's outdated.
It's like how you know it's working, right?
Yeah, it's how you know it's working.
Like how you know you've done it properly. What I love about it is like you don't. This makes this playbook a self-managing tool. They're not going to go, hey, so if I've done this properly, it's like, well, hang on a second. There's feedback loops here. Are you at 40% conversion rates? Did you open the chat with three different messages and you wrote it like a 14-year-old? Is it like, does it look like this? It's like, I talk about this as building Lego, right? We've all got the pieces. The feedback loop here is the picture we see on the box of the Lego, which is like, that's what it's supposed to fucking look like. Why does it look like a duck?
So a good feedback loop for Lego or IKEA is if you got 3 bits left at the end, that's a pretty good feel that you fucked up.
It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Then the last part is you've got the additional resources because you might have an additional script, you might have additional videos, you might have, like I know sometimes for our internal stuff, we've got, like for instance, for Haley, my EA, there's the EA playbook, and then at the end there's some additional resources of like maybe the way we did things in the past, or maybe some context about certain things, some context about our clients.
Links, templates, websites. You need to go to,
even like YouTube vids, you know, when
Logins,
correct, passwords. When I work with like Nate, our content director, the playbook there's some additional stuff there, and there's like just links to like YouTube videos that I think are pretty good about what I want to be doing. So it's just to build some extra context. So to recap, you gonna say something?
Yeah, just with the what this structure avoids is a situation where, my churn's fucked. Okay, cool. So are you doing the red flag report? Yeah, we're doing it. What about the orange flag? Yep, we're doing it. And it's like, all right, well, let's look at what's missing is the effectiveness of what you're doing. Like, is it actually getting the outcome and the result that playbook intended? Well, no, it's not. So we need to investigate which step is missing. And I constantly talk to people, just use rollovers as an example. We're doing it. We're doing the 80% rollover flow. And it's like, all right, are you running group inductions? No. Like, we could have avoided this one.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. None of my leads are picking up. Are you calling fresh leads in 5 minutes? No. Start there, brother.
Step one. Yeah, step one.
Fucking follow it.
What's that about?
I don't know. It can't be that they're lazy because these people are working.
They're not lazy.
I think rushing through to actually, I do know what it is. I think that people often, especially our people, will rush through different tasks to say, "Yep, done, tick."
Yeah.
Oh, because it's that dopamine.
Feeling amazing, but it's actually not achieving an outcome. And that's what we've spoken about at length on this podcast is that high achievers, high performers, they don't work to timings, they work to outcome. It's not how many things you ticked off the list, it's whether or not you achieved what you needed to.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some questions in here. So let me just recap the sections for our friends online and in the car. First up, you got the header section, which is the name of the, and you can obviously template this, right? That's what we've done,
exactly
right?
What done in Notion.
There's a playbook on how to
There's a
playbook.
playbook and playbooks.
Exactly. So name, date created, the department, owner, and last modified, and we want that within
30 days.
Perfect. Nailed it. And the next section is the purpose. The purpose of why this playbook exists. Just had a stroke. And I want to make sure that actually lines up to business strategy, business objectives, okay? And the KPIs that we're trying to move here. So the reason, okay, let's say this whole thing's a sales script, right? Or the sell by chat playbook. The purpose of this particular playbook, let's say it's sell by chat, is to turn our Instagram followers into members as quickly as possible following this script, as an example. Yeah?
Pretty clear.
A North Star principle could
And
be
then-
like every new follower gets opened.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
And then another North Star principle is
Follow the fucking script.
follow the fucking script. Another principle is like we're looking for 5-star prospects, right? Don't fucking waste your time with Russian bots.
Yeah.
Do that in your own time. And then you got the walkthroughs. Now, what if they're not screen recordings? Because it's not like, maybe it's a playbook for how to reset the Wi-Fi.
Okay, well, I can give you a real life example. Paul even did a fucking video of him writing the station cards, doing the cleaning the way he wanted it done. Be
Oh.
creative, figure it out.
I would love if I got access to these videos.
I know.
God,
It's
he's good.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, so what, he just filmed himself, right?
Yeah.
It's not fucking rocket science, right?
It's pretty
Get-
easy.
Get the thing done.
Yeah.
Then we go into the step-by-steps, then we go into the feedback loops, and then we go into additional resources. Pretty fucking nimble. This is a working, every day it's up on your screen. You're going to have to fucking show me someone who thinks they're too good to have this playbook up on their screen when they're doing that task, right? Because otherwise, when we do those audit calls at the Unleash calls, and we go, pop the button, let's show me your sell-by chat history, and we see people that are just big block text, not following the playbook, not following the script.
Hey, thanks for following, Andrew. Would you like a 7-day free trial with us?
Oi.
God. Fuck. That is gross. All right. So let's go into some mindset stuff. What if I say to you, Soph, it's just easier if I do it myself?
Enjoy your golden cage. Is that easy? That's all I have to fucking say.
What about you? It's easier if I do it myself.
Like, it's actually not. It's actually pretty fucking awesome when you got a team doing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, newsflash, like a lot of these tasks, yeah, like you should not be doing them. End of. It's a lot easier. Like, it gives me so much joy when, particularly if it's something a little bit tricky or complex. A lot of these tasks aren't, but yeah, particularly if you've got something chunky, and you write a playbook, you train someone up, they do it the first couple of times, bit of a wonky situation, you do some coaching, you coach them up, and then next thing you know, they're hitting it like the numbers you were hitting in no time, or exceeding. Then you go, hold on, this little whippersnapper up to. It's awesome. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
See if you can get Paul on the line. Unfiltered. We'll keep going. But this is like for the audience. This might be cool, right? He might be in a buddy pub. What day is it? Okay. What if someone's a perfectionist or they're overcomplicating things? Where's your hook over that one, Betty?
80% of someone else doing it is 100% awesome.
Yeah.
Like you've just got to get it out of your head and someone else doing it. Otherwise, you're never going to get out of the weeds ever.
Yeah. You're just never going to build a fucking business.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're going to be a solopreneur forever, you've got to accept, you've got to accept a little bit less than perfection, but like that, you don't just leave it there forever. That's your opportunity to coach that person up.
Would it be unreasonable to maybe have a situation where the person you've handed it off to ends up doing a better job?
Like, what a great outcome.
Yeah.
What a fucking great outcome. That's the dream. And guess what, guys? Like, you're never going to have that dream.
Oh,
I have
shit.
my number saved too.
What?
You're the best. Paul, I'm
We're
going to
live.
put you on speaker. We're filming a podcast and then your name came up.
Paulie!
Do you want to?
Going on?
Mate, everything, homie.
Okay.
Yeah?
We were just talking about how much of
Does he know we're live? We're actually live.
Yeah, we're like actually filming, just so you know. So don't swear,
Oh, right.
obviously, because we hate swearing. We're doing an episode on Playbooks, and then we were talking about your transformation with going from some control issues to the work that you've done over the past couple of months with playbooking. The Dozer wants a copy of all of your videos. He loves it, and the results that you're getting now. So for the listeners, like, what comes top of mind when we talk about Playbooks for you?
Just it gets a process out of your head and I guess into a place where not only you can review and refer, but it allows you to offload, right? So it's much easier to have the conversation. Just had one today, actually, over my new sales playbook with my new sales wolf, right? So it gave me something to talk to and for her to refer to. So rather than me just trying to rattle it off the top of my head and expect her to retain it.
That's so fucking good. And so for anyone else who's similar to you and like you were procrastinating for a little bit, what was the moment you overcame that? What would you say to someone?
I think I got a little bit of an accountability nudge from you, which was great, and I guess I just had just had to do the fucking thing, just instead of talking about doing the thing and saying I'm going to do the thing, and you just basically called me on it and said, well, okay, when are you going to do it by? Set a date, set a milestone, and that actually sort of put me into action.
Started the flywheel.
Yeah, and I guess the realisation that, well, I'm never going to offload it off my plate until I can document it and then pass it on to someone. So it just needed to happen.
That's so fucking good. How did your team respond?
Yeah, good. So yeah, everything that I've brought up, it hasn't been an issue. Like, I was always worried about, well, do they see it as extra work, extra effort? Do they see it as me palming stuff off? But really, I just had to explain why I needed to do it, why I hadn't done it so far, and not an issue. Yeah.
I love it. I'm so proud of you.
Nailed it.
You're
so
a legend,
good.
Paulie.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Awesome,
You're a legend, mate. All right, ring the leads or someone else. Or get someone else to do that.
She's calling the leads.
You're a legend, buddy. Love ya.
Podcast.
See you, bud.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh,
I love him.
that brings up another topic, right? We worked with, no, I don't have to name names, but we worked with a small HQ, right? An aspiring and emerging network, shall we say. And we saw someone who could absolutely be phenomenal, like has the drive, has the influence,
The vision.
has the vision, has the network. What we saw though was not evidence of being able to develop a team underneath. And in the same 12-month span that we've seen other networks double or like add on more, they simply haven't, right? And it's because of the same issue. Like, they're still stuck in the replacing trainers at, one of the studios. When we spoke to their team, they said, I don't think this person trusts us. And when we spoke to the person, he said, I'll chop that bit out. When we spoke to the person, they said, I don't have a good team yet. So I know this is about Playbooks. That's absolutely part of it.
How often do you hear that? Is that an uncommon statement?
Day. Yeah.
Every day,
always,
both sides, right?
It's so interesting. Like, I've spoken about it before, but yeah, like, I've literally been on opposite Zoom calls with the same team. Like, my team doesn't care, don't want to do any extra work, this, that, and the other. On the other hand, we don't know what they want us to fucking do. Or how, where to start. Or they go, they have KPIs. They're really clear on that. No idea. And I just keep working because I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not.
All right. So we've landed that playbooks are pretty important. I want to call you on something.
Ooh.
You said you don't have to playbook everything. What's that about?
No, I said, I think too many businesses get stuck on trying to build perfect SOPs.
Okay.
And SOPs for everything. And no, we need an SOP for that. It's almost as soon as you finish writing that one SOP,
There's another one.
There's another one.
Just for the crowd, just because we're switching between language, SOP.
Standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Which is like.
It's so fucking gross.
It's hectic,
like a very
like,
corporate thing to say.
Playbooks
is more fun.
Living, breathing. They're happening. They're like little cheat cards on how to do something that we know it's tied to a result, right? And I think that if you're the owner and if you're the manager and there's hundreds of these people that we speak to, and there's like, it's just this bit in the middle where it's just fucking confusion and just a void of communication. For me, the playbook is the bridge.
Yeah.
And it's also the conversation that happens at every single week, the coaching that happens. That way we can point to the process before the people, and then we have the coaching conversations to coach people up to make sure that they are executing the playbook properly, because we're actually inspecting what we expect. So to land this plane, I'm going to give the team, the listeners here, homework or implementation steps or how to take this episode and fucking do something with it. Yeah. The first thing is not something that you're going to expect from me to say.
Ooh.
Let's create some fucking room for them to actually write these playbooks.
Yes.
So do your time and energy audit, get rid of your $10 an hour shit, like give yourself an instant pay rise, and I'll go one further. Get yourself off 50% of the shifts that you're on. If you're an owner that's still punching out more than 10 shifts a week. Don't at me. You can at me if you want.
How do I do that if I can't afford it?
5-star session scorecard. So like, do a playbook on how to run an epic session so you can finally let go of that and enroll someone else to do that to the level that you've already defined. Okay. And then you inspect it every couple of shifts to make sure they're hitting the scorecards. We've got 5-star session scorecards internally, and there's literally a number out of 25 that your instructors get based on 5 criteria that you've already decided to design your ultimate experience. I know you're a great trainer or a great instructor, but your members, your clients, your students, like they just want a standard. They don't necessarily want your presence. Okay. And if they do want your presence, you're a bit fucked. Because then you'll never be able to get out of these shifts. Okay. And you'll never be able to build a business. It's not an ego thing. It's just, it's fine if you kind of want to be that person. Like if you want to be that person, you know, maybe you want to be like the apex trainer or something.
God.
But anyway, the second part is.
Oh, that's hilarious. But also, I just will say, but also this is your ideal business. So if you just want to fucking rock the 9:30 Thursday,
go, girlfriend.
do it. But
shout out to the mums
it's
and
not.
bubs.
It doesn't need to be one or the other.
Yeah,
it
because
can
you
be
can,
both.
not because you have to.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Then playbook the gaps, right? Playbook wherever you think, if I can't get rid of that, if I can't get myself off, where are the gaps? Playbook those gaps first. Then the second level is I'd go to the admin, right? I'd go to the low value, low risk stuff. I think part of the reason why people go, okay, I'm going to do a playbook. I'm going to do a playbook. I'm going to do a playbook. They get to the cafe on a Monday morning, pop up on the laptop and go, oh, fuck, where do I start? Start with the low value, low risk stuff. That if someone did it wrong, no one's going to fucking care. No one's going to die, right? So that's your admin.
Yep.
How you process your inbox. How do you respond to these types of emails?
This is an absolute game changer. Like, so many people don't know where to start with their, they hire an assistant. They go, what do I do? Like, literally videos to yourself, guys, like processing a pause. Like, what's the risk of someone stuffing that up? Like, nothing. Like, and great. Once you've done that 3 times, 3 videos of you processing a pause in mind body, you never have to touch it ever again.
It's also a really easy way. Like if that person didn't do it properly, it's also a really easy way to slash your suspension rate. It's just to not process them. So
good.
Get the admin done. Like I just want to encourage everyone. It's okay. Just start small. Like what Paulie just said. Do one thing. Prove to yourself that no one died.
Yeah.
They don't hate you. In fact, it's probably a good idea. What if your team actually think he's finally or she is finally trusting us now?
Yeah.
You might actually uncover and unearth someone in your team who actually wants to step up.
His salesperson was already in his team.
Get fucked.
Yeah, who we gave the playbook to today, which is awesome.
Is she selling?
Yeah, she is selling. I told you, Royal Flush so far. I don't know where they're up to.
So hang on, just pause on that. For the audience, what the fuck does Royal Flush mean?
It means that Paul's hitting all of our benchmarks across the KPIs for lead flow, sales conversion rate being at 30% plus, 80% rollovers week on week. The engagement rate is at 3 to 4 average visits per member. His churn's below 5% and he's net growing.
This is a fit stop.
Yep.
Is he at his best month ever?
Yep, BME, bruh.
I can't separate playbooks and best month ever, by the way.
It's not just that. He's also just had a beautiful weekend away with his family for Easter.
Yeah.
He's feeling really good about his business.
And the Raiders are winning.
So Raiders are winning, yeah. So start small and just make sure it sticks. Just prove to yourself it's not a big scary thing, and then you'll snowball it up. And then just to make sure we're working to deadlines here and to outcomes, because that's what high performers do, I want to give the audience a deadline. So the deadline is I want them to have completed and installed 5 playbooks in the next 30 days.
Love it.
That's 1 a week and a little bit more.
A bit of change.
And a little bit of GST.
Should we give some specific examples?
Yeah. So get yourself off the shift. So like a session playbook.
5-star sessions.
Yeah. How you process your inbox, right?
Yep.
The cancellations, the pauses, that sort of shit. So you can give that to an actual assistant. You throw one in there.
Ooh, look, I reckon a cleaning checklist is a no-brainer if you don't have one already.
Cleaning checklist.
What about like an induction checklist?
Yeah. So what might that mean?
So when are your inductions?
Yeah.
Who's going to be there?
Yeah.
What to say to them?
How to
what
run
them through? Like download the app. How many sessions they need to do?
Yeah. And if you're not doing an induction,
session.
definitely reach out to us. Just go to hey.dozer on Instagram and message me inductions.
Yeah, that's like someone's first session
Yeah.
playbook, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I reckon a good 5th one. It's just like that's your wild card one for anything else that you're doing that
Perfect.
is just you shouldn't be fucking doing it, like the station cards that Paul was doing.
That's a great example. Or how to restock the merch that you can flick someone $30 to and just get it done without you having to worry about it. How to buy a tool. The shit that I had to deal with, right, back at the studio was, Dozer, Wi-Fi's down. It's like, what the fuck am I going to do about it? I'm 45 minutes away. So like maybe that one, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like how to get the Wi-Fi back up again. So you don't have to get a phone call at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I used to do when Pisani was out the front trying to break in. All right. I think we landed that. It was about 40-something minute episode.
Yes. My rhyme for you all is start small and be like Paul.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, did you just come up with that?
I've been sitting on it waiting for you to shut up, actually. No,
That's never going to happen.
just kidding.
You don't
Start
reckon I'm an
small
MF?
and be like Paul.
Start small and be like Paul.
Channel
All right.
some Paul energy.
Great. All right. I reckon we're going to wrap that up. So
Let's do
team,
it.
5 playbooks in the next 30 days. Start small, be like Paul. Paul, love you lots. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If something resonated with you, then do one of two things. Either leave a review or send this episode to a mate who's in the industry who might need to hear this. But if you want more right now, because your head might be spinning and you're like, all right, what the hell do I do right now? Then in the show notes, you'll find a link to where you can book in for a free 15-minute checkup on your studio, where we get to have a look at how you're going right now and where some of the kind of quick win opportunities are to get you moving faster. I can't wait to be back in your ears next week. And if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, and I'm in your corner. You are on the right track and I believe in you. So keep going, and I'll see you next week.